Shortly after the completion of our last episode, news came out of two tragedies. One in my current home state of Texas, and less than 24 hours later in my birthplace of Ohio. Our thoughts and condolences go out to those affected by these senseless tragedies, and also the ones that happen every day in every part of the world that do not get reported. This is not okay, and this is not who we, as citizens of this world, should have to deal with in what seems to be a never-ending basis. If you have been affected by this, directly or indirectly, especially emotionally, there are places to turn for help. Talk to your health professional, or someone that cares, or even Scotty or I. We do not have to suffer alone. In all corners of the globe, we must strive to rise up above tragedy and say no more. When one person hurts in our community, we will rally together to support them. The Escape Pod condemns the actions of those intent to silence other people through fear, isolation, and violence. Speak up, speak out, and be the change you wish to see in the world.
This is Darth Cerberus' wife, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This show is recorded in front of a live audience, and I'm here to support all the partners of this community.
One is a territory war specialist from Australia. The other is a territory battle tactician from the U.S. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with over a combined 45 years of entertainment under their belts, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The CFH Network presents the Escape Podcast, a weekly show about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast, we are forced to update our clients. Why? Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. We sit down with two game developer friends of ours to talk about that. We channel our inner Lil Jon when Scotty and Mandalore sit down for what? After Mandalore is one of the first content creators to unlock him. And we will talk breaking news as and if it happens right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Yes, it's nice to be back for another week, Paul, and I promise after last week's escapades, I'm actually going to be a little bit more positive this week, or at least try to be, especially after last week's show. So big shout out to our fans on Facebook and also all of our social media being run quite beautifully from the lovely Tupaca. She's doing a great job there, or the llama, should I say, and she's doing a fantastic job there, and well done to her. And look, this week too, we're going to get into, one of the big negatives that people have been talking about all throughout the week. But first things first, one of the big things that happened this week was that one of our fellow content creators, Paul, decided to make his way back onto the stage once again. He got himself a brand new machine. He's now operating, and I'm so glad that he is. It is, of course, Deadpool Kyle 28. It's great to have you back on board, mate, in the community as a content creator champion. So well done. Welcome back to the fold to Deadpool Kyle 28. Had to do that shout out straight up, my friend.
Yeah, and also Biscuit Weasel getting his start. He bought his new microphone, so we're excited for that. We're gonna be seeing
absolutely.
We're going to see a lot of good stuff from DPK and Biscuit coming up. I mean, who knows? They may even start the Escape Pod 2. Who knows?
Well, who knows? But, look, our other boy as well, Xylo Takedown, he's also doing some great stuff as well. Look, make sure that you guys go over there and give him a like and a bit of a shout out as well. Give him some love. Xylo's been doing some fantastic stuff over there on his channel too. And some of the stuff that he does is just incredible. So definitely well worth a watch, I can tell you that. But Paul, look, we've got to talk about some of the big things. And look, I apologize, guys, as well, straight off the bat. If you do hear some certain sound effects through Discord, well, well, I apologize. I've tried to mute them, but unfortunately, it's still happening here. I'm in a different studio to what I'm usually in. So, that's what's happening. So I apologize. So look, we'll get into it now, Paul. Look, let's get started on the show. And the first thing is that I know that he's listening to us, and it's great to have him on board with us as well. Mick Mole too is, of course, one of our fellow content creators. Earlier in the week, it was released that Bulldog had dropped a video about how to hack. Well, I wouldn't say how to hack the game, but it was basically showing that cheating is occurring in the game, and this is pretty much how it happens. And Mick Mole followed that up with a great video as well to tell people exactly how these things were going on and what was happening, what was occurring. And basically now we've seen a content strike on Bulldog. He's been banned, and Mick Mole has been sentenced to 28 days imprisonment away from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And man, my heart goes out to Mick Mole. I actually hope that he can get his account back pretty soon. I mean, he was just doing basically a service to us all to let us know exactly what was going on. Paul, what's your take?
Well, the first thing I want to make sure of is, and I really hope that our super secret CG moles and Crumb are listening. Please don't drop the clone reworks during this time. Mick Mole deserves the clone reworks when he gets back. That's what I'm going to say about this. Now, we are absolutely not going to tell you anything about where to go to do any of the stupid stuff that people are trying and attempting to do. I'm going to flat out say this. If you are going out looking for this thing, downloading it, and doing cheating, if you are cheating in this game, you absolutely deserve to be banned. Because I support this game. I want to see my game go for as long as I can. And I am, how to put this without saying a few choice words. If you take my game away from me because of your negligence, I don't know what to say, Scotty, that won't get me in trouble.
No, look, I can see where you're going with this, and look, I'll just say this, look, we don't want to see cheaters in this game. If you want to cheat, do it somewhere else. Type in the God mode cheat into Doom or Duke Nukem. Have some fun with that. Go for it. But this is the mobile game that we all love. We all love to play it, and look, the last thing that I want to do is be coming across cheaters. I've had a sneaking suspicion on a few occasions that things are a bit out of whack. But having said that, look, at the end of the day, I mean, the good news is that things are actually coming to a head now, and I guess. Mick Mole and Bulldog, from us to you guys, it sucks what's been handed to you both. But I will say this, from us to you guys, thank you for doing it, because now it means that, we're going to be seeing some action on this finally, Paul. I know that they've been doing action on this for quite some time, but having said that, it's, there's going to be some full-on action.
Yeah, so they have had action on this, and there have been people that have been detected doing this, and they were rightfully sent, let's just say, on a rocket to the moon. All right? Yeah. you know how much I love that phrase.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
People have been caught. It's kind of like Liam Neeson. He will find you. They will detect you. They will hunt you down, and they will kill the access to your account. And I'm glad that they would. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to mask it, but I'm going to finally say it. If you're a cheater in this game, get the hell off and F you.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree with you more on that one, Paul. But look, I did say I wanted to be positive this week, and I was going to try my very best to be positive. But man, did that suck the life out of me on Tuesday when I saw that video here in Australia from Mick Mole.
I woke up to it Monday morning, dude. I'm like, what the hell? My entire week, I'm going to be seeing all sorts of other content creators talking about this, and everybody's going to be like, okay, we've heard our fill of this. If you are, just keep hitting that little 15 seconds ahead button until about 28 minutes, and then we'll be good. All right, but we have to get our this off our chests. Now, I will say, I stand with Mick Mole. I do not think that he should have received the 28 days later sentence. I really don't, because he was commentating. Now, the fault of Mick Mole, and I'm gonna talk to you in front of everybody here right now, my friend. You shouldn't have played the video of it being done. That's the only thing. Your commentary would have been enough. That's what did it, and that's what did in Bulldog. Now, Bulldog. Let's get on the topic of Bulldog real quick here. Because it's entirely Bulldog Gate. When it comes to this, he did it to prove a point, but he shouldn't have gone entirely public with it the way that he did. It shouldn't have been the equivalent of an everyone tag on Discord. It should have been, hey, you guys are he should have went directly to CG. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. That kind of thing. Shoulda went to CG and said, hey, I've been doing this to see if you guys can do it, if you guys have been able to capture it. Done it in private, and then given them time. Because that is how the security world works in computing. If you find a security hole and you are a true white hat hacker, what you do is you then go to the source of the people who put out the code, and you say, I see this problem with your software. This is a huge hole. And then you don't hold it ransom. You don't do that. But you wait on it. And if they don't do it, then you release it. But the fact that you put it out there, and as they continue to improve and patch holes and enhance detection systems, that is where you get the glory. That's when you get the money, that's when you get the khakis, and that's when you get the chicks.
Look, I mean, the only thing I agree with what Mobile Gamer said earlier in the week, and this is where I'll talk directly to Mick Mole as well. And that, I think that the only thing that really hurt Mick Mole in this whole thing was the very beginning of his video, and that's what Mobile Gamer was telling him. According to Mobile Gamer, I don't know if this is true or not, but Mobile Gamer, at least according to him, he said it in his video. He said, man, you're going to get done for this. Like the very first 30 seconds of that screen that you had in the background, that's going to get done, man. And Mick Mole said, yeah, I'm expecting that. And, that's according to Mobile Gamer. So, look, I can completely understand that from that perspective of that first 30 seconds of the video. I don't think it was too bad of a problem to show exactly how the hack is doing it. Like knowing now that, a Phoenix team can wipe out a Darth Revan side with this particular hack, which is going on inside the game. And, I don't think that I don't think banning people is the right move here. I think that, the fallout from this, especially all over Reddit and all over, the forums as well themselves, is quite problematic. So now, look, the community is split on this, probably even more split on this than what we were on The Last Jedi, to be fair. And it's the Bulldog Mick Mole gate, which is going on at the moment. And, yeah. So, look, I just think that the whole thing needs to come to a head, and Mick Mole needs to come back to the game. I think that's only fair. I mean, the first 30 seconds of his video, sure, okay, he can admit that he made a mistake, and he does, on that front. So that's fine. He can admit that. Bulldog can admit that, sure, okay, I just wanted to show that this is what was going on. Yeah. Exactly, Mick Mole, man. That was a mistake, And look, you can say that. And, 28-day ban, man, that's ridiculous. I think Mick Mole needs to come back to the game. I think that's only the fairest thing that we can do. And it's the only way that we can actually get, the community at least back on track. Mick Mole was kind of the fall guy here in some ways, and I disagree with that. I think that Mick Mole needs to come back. I really appreciated the video. So that's my take on the whole thing.
Well, one other take that's coming of this, pardon me here. One other take that's coming of this is people saying, and sadly, Buzzsaw, I know you're listening. I checked the listener lounge. I have a question for you. Is the whole aspect of I'm not going to spend money on the game until it gets fixed. I'll put it this way. If you are not going to spend money on this game, there are plenty of other worthy causes, like Apropos Daughter's fundraiser that's in our PA right now. I still have the GoFundMe for Christy going because there's bills that are coming in that everything's not, everything's not covered under insurance.
Yep.
There's plenty of places for you to spend money. Okay, and Buzzsaw says I can always mention him. So, all right, Buzzsaw. I beg for your consideration not to give this game up in that sense. Think of the enjoyment that you get from the game. Otherwise, you would not be listening to us. You wouldn't want to know the latest info on the game from CG. You flat out wouldn't be playing it, and probably you're playing it right now while listening to us. The developers are paid by essentially via, in retrospect, from what we spend on the game. They are putting out content and things like that. So, it's their jobs that are on the line if there is not spending. And I don't know, you do get Netflix down there, right, Scotty?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so did you see the last episode of Patriot Act by Hassan? I can't remember his last name. Hassan Anaj or something like that.
Julian Assange.
No, not Julian Assange. No. There's a show called Patriot Act, and they tackled the world of video games and how cutthroat video games and video game companies can be when it comes to the end of a life cycle of a game. People are sometimes dismissed right the same day that a game ships. Can you believe pouring your heart and soul into a game, and the day that it ships, you're told, thanks for your time, and that studio may never get another IP again? That's really, really crappy. Now, the benefit of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is that it is a living game. There are constant updates coming along. Now, all the content that they were planning on putting out is right now probably taking a back seat to the fixing the issue that was brought up earlier this week with Bulldog Gate. Okay?
Yep.
There will be a fix to the issue of cheating, and I assure you that. I will even bet this very show, Scotty, right out from under you, I will bet that there will be a fix. I'm not going to say it when, but I bet you that it's coming as fast as it can, and content is now taking a back seat to it. And also, for those who asked for a refund, I really wish that I was on video right now because I'm talking with my hands so damn passionately. But for those of you that asked for a refund, and you are keeping those items that you used, your Gear 13 characters and all that, I hope those get taken away from you if you asked for a refund, because those people earned what they put forward. I'm not saying, I'm not calling you out, per se, Buzzsaw. I'm not saying that you are this evil entity of a non-spender. I want you to know that. But I'm not going to shame you, and I'm not going to put you in the stocks, but I'm going to flat out say, me personally, I'm disappointed in the people that claimed the refunds. Because that's not right. They provided you a service. Now that service may, you're not going to go into a restaurant and ask, let's say you come into the restaurant I work for and you get some wings. If some guy comes along and throws the wings on the floor, you're not going to ask for a refund because some jackass did that. You're going to say to the people, hey, can I get some new wings? And we're going to make it right, all right? So don't blame CG for the stupidity and jerkiness of other people.
Yeah.
I'm done ranting. Scotty, your turn.
Okay, all right. Look, I want to turn the topic now, and I'll finish on this, and hashtag free Mick Mole. That's all I have to say. All right. Look, moving on to the next thing, and I agree with you, Mick Mole. Mick Mole's talking to us as we do this, and he's saying that he's all for delaying the clone rework by approximately 4 weeks. If that's the case,
Amen.
Yeah, if that's the case, then and he's actually away from the game for 4 weeks. Look, I'm all for it as well. I think that all of us need to be in that situation there. So I'm cool with that. I want us to do that too, Mick Mole. If you're not back in the game, man, it's not fair on you. If you're not back in the game and the reworks come, it is not fair. All right, now moving on to the next thing, and a lot of people would want to supply him with footage, I'm sure, but.
But I'm gonna really quick. I'm taking. I got to go back to it for just a second. Because I look in the listener lounge. When I go on these rants, I get blind to the listener lounge. I need to get what's been building up off my chest and all that. People are saying until they fix this, they're not going to spend any money. Okay, fine. That's fine. But asking for the refunds, that's where I draw the line. If you're not going to spend until then, that's fine. I'm going to still, throw stuff to the PvE content that's out there. I can't believe I forgot this. They have actually already started putting out things, Scotty, to combat this in the stead.
Yeah.
Are you aware of what it was? We had a problem with it. Now I don't have so much of a problem with it.
Go on.
Do you remember what this was?
Go on. Talk to me.
So it relates to PvE content. All of this gating, the power gate. You knew that I was pissed off about it, but now that I look back on it, you can cheat to your heart's content on your own client side, but you have to gear. You have to spend time and gear to get certain characters up to a certain point. So they were aware, and they are taking steps to shield, if you will, that endgame content from people that shouldn't be having it.
Yeah.
Because you need a certain GP. You can modify your offense to your heart's content, but you can't fake a Gear 12 bug.
True. Very true. Very true. All right. Now, moving on. And, Paul, I really want to move on from this now. And I want to talk about something else which has been happening in the game this week. And it's actually on my own account. Now, I've been having a bit of a private conversation this week with Infinity, and I believe he might be even in here listening. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if he is. No, he's not. He's actually over in Europe, so he can't hear it at this point in time. But anyway, I actually had a little bit of a speculation that was going on, and I was having a chat to Infinity earlier in the week, and he said to me, Scotty, can you show me your favourites? And I said, yeah, man, sure, here you go. This is what I'm working on. And he's like, that's really weird. Why would you be wanting to work on Darth Maul, gearing him up, and also Savage Press, and also Darth Sidious? And I said to him, well, we're in the dark side territory battles at the moment, and if you have a look, those three are probably three of the most powerful Sith that are going around inside of the Clone Wars. And I've got a funny feeling that, it's not going to happen yet, but if you want to see the tea leaves, I've got a funny feeling that we might even see Savage, Maul, and also Sidious get themselves some form of a rework at some stage after the clones. Paul, what's your take on this, mate? Because I've just managed to get them all up to Gear 12 except for Sidious.
Well, I mean, he's pretty much as much Clone Wars content as... we already got that, though. I highly doubt that we're going to see this, but I wouldn't put it past them. But Maul showing up and, getting that rework, I want to see Spider Maul more than just standard Robolegs Maul. That would be interesting. But we've already visited Darkseid. Well, for that being said, because we've already visited Darkseid, we didn't see Django get a rework. We didn't see Asajj and any of the Night Sisters get a rework.
Well, see, this is where I get into this point, that I feel as if this is what's going to happen. Maul, Savage, Sidious will get the Separatist tag. So that's where I'm actually thinking that we might see something happening here. So they'll probably end up getting some form of a Separatist tag is what I'm thinking. And they'll actually become great again inside of the particular territory battle, the Darkseid one. Because let's be honest, I mean, Savage, Maul, and Sidious haven't been really, to the point that they should be, especially in Darkseid. You'd want to think that your top three characters when it comes to, and the most iconic characters when it comes to the Darkseid, which is Maul, Savage, and Sidious, you'd want to see those three get some form of something. I mean, I'm just talking really here from, the point of view that I'm actually thinking.
I'm shaking my head because for me, the most iconic Darkseid Clone Wars character is Grievous.
No, I think it's Maul. From Darkseid.
We can agree to disagree on this one. I mean, we see Maul, but we see Grievous more.
Yeah, yes and no. And, I just feel...
I mean, Dooku, yeah. Dooku, we saw a rework.
Yeah. I just have a feeling that they're the ones. The other ones that I was looking at as well, over on the Jedi faction, and these are the other ones that I was looking at here as well. I was looking at the likes of Mace Windu. Obviously, we all think that that's going to come at some point. Ayla Secura. I was also looking at Armor Gundy and Kit Fisto. They're the ones that I'm thinking that, are going to be getting some form of a rework at some stage. So they're the other ones that I was looking at. Obviously, the clones, we all know about them, and so I was looking at those. But the other characters that I was working on this week too, Paul, is the Phoenix Squad. Now, the reason why I'm going on the Phoenix Squad is because I'm actually working on a brand new sort of a squad, and it's to do with Kanan Jarrus. I think I might need his Zeta, though, to make this work, but it's something that I'm working on for Grand Arena, and it's got something to do with him. So I'm looking at something to do with him in form of a Rebel squad. Yeah, it's a Rebel squad, and it features Kanan Jarrus. That's all I'm going to say for Grand Arena. So yeah, that's what I'm actually looking at there. And obviously, with the bugs, a full Gear 12 and Zated Phoenix team can apparently counter the bugs too, Paul. Did you know that?
I didn't, but that's hilarious that my two babies of all of this game so far. Well, not now the droids, because I added them last week. But it's kind of funny that my two main passions in this game are now can counter each other.
That's right. So definitely looking at the Phoenix Squad at the moment to try and finish them off at present too. And then when I'm finished with that, I'm going to go back to, because I've already done all the Darkseid sort of stuff, that's going on. So I've already done all that, and for this Clone Wars era. So I've already finished all of that. So then when I'm finished with that, Yes. We're going to talk more about this with Mandalore a bit later, but I am working on gearing up my Rose Tico to Gear 12. Also, Amel and Holdo, Poe Dameron, I'm looking at gearing them up as well. Now, why am I looking at that? Well, Mandalore and I are going to...
Episode 9.
Well, there's that. But Mandalore...
It's got to be episode 9.
Well, Mandalore and I are going to discuss this a little bit later on in the show, but I'm not sure if you guys have seen his video yet, but this is a dead set cracker. Finn...
Oh.
Yeah, under a Finn leadership with Rose Tico and Poe Dameron, Amel and Holdo, right... They can actually take out a Darth Malik.
What?
Yep.
All right, go to the break. We got to get to this. But first, coming up after this break, we're going to sit down with Xhantos and also with Danarius, two of our very, very good friends who just so happen to be game designers or former game designers. We'll be right back after this break right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
Hey everyone, it is the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, your boy Urs, and you are listening to the Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Boys, I think I speak for all of us when I say you are hot, you are red hot.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
Hey everyone, Biscuit Weasel here from the planet Coruscant and the HSTR project. Some of you may have seen my latest videos about my modding and Grand Arena strategy, but I want to help you personally. Head on over to patreon.com/biscuitweasel, that's Weasel with a Z, and check out my new Patreon rewards. And while they last, the first 10 people to sign up at the $10 level will get the whole $30 package for their first month. That's patreon.com/biscuitweasel. Remember, that's with a Z. Today.
The Escape Pod Cast with Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony. The Escape Pod Cast, the Round Holo Table.
And welcome into the Holo Round Table of the Escape Pod Cast. Now, the topic has been, as we mentioned earlier, Bulldog Gate. Everything is buzzing about that right now. And so we thought we would bring in some very, very good friends of Scotty and I. We have Danarius and we have Xhantos. Danarius and Xhantos are both veterans of the video game world. Danarius, why don't you give a quick background of your experience and what you do now?
Okay, so I got my start in computer game industry in the 1990s, PlayStation 1 era. Did a couple of flight simulators, Top Gun Fire at Will. I did Falcon 4 for the IBM PC. I did Tiger Woods Golf for the PlayStation 2. And then I moved into networking, and lately I've been working in web security.
Excellent. And Xhantos, without naming names and stuff like that, give us your background real quick.
I got my start in the industry just over 5.5 years ago, and just been working on various titles since then. I've got a bunch of games under my belt, some that are credited, some that are not, and I currently work for a mobile game studio.
Excellent. And so, the reason we wanted to have you on is not to point out the failings, if you will, because we were talking earlier, and this is the reason why I wanted to get you on the Holo Round Table, is that you guys both have solutions that you've come up with. Dano, why don't you throw one of the two that you I think you actually did more than two, but you had a few that could, maybe not easily, maybe not right away fix this issue, but you came up with some solutions when we were like, okay, how does this not happen?
Well, yeah, first of all, I'd like to say that it is not uncommon for applications and developers to have solutions that are not really security conscious. And that's why we hear almost weekly about some new hack on the internet. It's not that the hackers are getting better; it's just that the developers generally don't think about the vulnerabilities that they're inadvertently putting in, because they're in the solutions business. They want to make the games work. They want to make the experience as seamless and as good for the users as possible. And CG actually has done a very, very good job of that in general. We all have our complaints, but in general, they do a very good job of it. But as we've been learning recently, there are some vulnerabilities. And the main thing that we need to be able to do to make sure that there isn't rampant cheating is we need to have visibility, which you can accomplish through a lot of people are talking about having client-side replays. Client-side replays, I know that it would be very hard to implement, but client-side replays, especially if they're shareable, would show some rampant cheating. It would probably actually solve about 90% of the problem that's being reported right now. However, people would still cheat if they had the ability, and replays were the only thing that they would verify. It's just that instead of making their guys invulnerable, they give them like a 50% boost to offense and a 50% boost to defense. So that's the first thing that they could do. Second thing that I think needs to be done, and this would be controversial, would be to ensure that for the combats, while the combat is taking place, that you have a continual connection with the servers. And that's so that the servers can verify that the combat is proceeding as the combat should. So when the units join the combat, you make sure that they have the same settings at the start of the combat. Actually, when they get frozen, you have the same settings at the start of the combat, when they're frozen and locked into the event, and in the middle of the combat and at the end of the combat. So this sort of requires that you have continual connectivity to the servers on the back end. And of course, we've all heard, in fact, on the Escape Pod cast, we've heard about the need to manage your turn meter and don't leave turn meter when you're not able to progress in the combat.
Right. It's all about the airplane mode. Isn't that right, Scotty?
It's all about airplane mode.
And so, absolutely.
Of course, if you're continually talking to the server, you wouldn't be able to do that in airplane mode. But in order to accomplish the same goal, you'd have to basically give the user the option at the end of a combat whether or not they want to post the result or whether they want to reset the combat to the starting condition, which is what you do if you abort out of a combat using airplane mode. And the third idea is paired with that, where you have essentially, this is a little bit complicated, and I don't know if we want to get into too many details of it, but in web security, what you really want to do is make sure that the client that you are talking to is behaving as you intend, as the programmers intended. And the easiest way to do that is to have essentially shared secrets that you exchange between the clients and the servers. And that way, and they progress in a predictable way, in a way that only the server can verify. And I can post the details about this so we don't get into too many nitty-gritty details
right.
on this discussion.
Right.
But there are ways of accomplishing that. in a way, as long as you are in connection over the entire combat, you can verify that that what's being sent to you isn't a replay of a previous session. It hasn't been manipulated by the client, etc. And this is some of the same kind of techniques that a bank uses when you sign in securely to make sure that you are actually the person that you say you are, and you have the authority to pay that bill or withdraw that cash.
Gotcha. And Xhantos, you have some input on this as well, my friend.
Is something that has really divided gamers for a long time, like constantly requiring an internet connection. While it makes sense for the mobile space, has historically been a point of contention among even developers and gamers. So that would definitely be an uphill battle for sure. But it is a way, as was mentioned before, to make sure that battles end in the same state that they started.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, you touched on this a short time ago, Dan. But I want to throw back to you if I can, man, because I'm notorious for leaving turn meter. How can we get rid of this, man?
Yeah, so this would be a change to the way that the client behaves, because currently, actually, there's a lot of trust, and Xhantos can confirm this. There's a lot of trust put in the client, and the client is programmed very effectively. That's basically where almost all of the logic is, and they essentially trust that the client will behave as it's been programmed. And so right now, I think the way that they intended it is that if you engage in a combat and you fail in the combat, then you should pay the price. It's just my guess on the game designer's intention.
Yep.
And then, of course, users are smart. They figured out, the airplane mode that actually doesn't, it communicates with the server when you start the combat, and then it doesn't really communicate with the server at all until you're done.
So are you suggesting...
And then it basically posts the results of all of that combat. And we've seen this in some of the raids, especially some of the longer raids where you can take one, like the tank raids, where you can take one team from the very beginning to the very end. After you finish, sometimes you're like, did my game crash? Because it'll sit there for like a minute or two, just blank screen. And then finally it says victory, yay. Yeah. But that's because it's spending those 2 minutes. It's really busy. It's basically telling the server, this is all the things that the user did.
Gotcha. That's
that makes sense. Yeah.
Actually, I have wondered why that did that. Didn't you, Scotty?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Especially in territory wars, man.
And so,
it's problematic.
Yeah, and after a combat.
Go ahead, Xan. Actually, Dan, hang on. Go ahead, Xhantos.
Well, I was going to say, it's the same with TW, it's the same with any mode, because all of these, like Dan said, everything is based off client. Nothing is being communicated till the end. So, anything that you do in the game really is not going to be recorded until another server connection. So, all of these game modes do the same thing, and in particular, on TW, the whole leaving turn meter. One way to get around it, as we all know, is to just make sure that you either time out if you've downed an enemy, or clear the app completely if you're going to lose. That way you don't bonus load the TM for the next. And unfortunately, unless they incorporate more server connection, there's just no way they're going to get around it, because everything is happening all at the same time based server pushes.
Yeah. Well, I had... Dan had been talking about a audit process, though, that could be incorporated. Is that true, Dan?
Yeah, that's true. So this is kind of getting into the nitty-gritties of my one of my ideas, which is that if you're communicating with a server, essentially, and I'm going to use some technical terms here, but if any programmers are listening, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, for example, you could take with each of the units when you join TW, you're supposed to be frozen. And you could actually store, it wouldn't take much space, a hash of all of the critical details of that unit, including what mods are running, what the values are of the mods that you have attached, what the levels are, what the speed is, all the things that control how the unit behaves. And you could store a little hash with that. And then when you join the combat, you send that hash, and you send the hash of all the units that are joining the combat, and you send that to the server. And that way the server can essentially ensure that what is being used is exactly what joined the combat or joined the event in the first place. And then you can also, as you're doing your exchanges of messages back and forth, and these are different levels of sophistication, but you could have a predictable exchange. So basically you have some secrets. You could use this hash, for example, as a seed for a random number generator, and that would produce exactly a predictable number for the next iteration. So the server would be generating a new number, and the server would expect a number from the client. And if the client doesn't produce exactly that number, then you know something fishy is going on. So there are ways
but then another thing that could happen is, a hiccup in a connection could cause a problem, or bad transmission or whatnot.
And in the mobile space, and this is a mobile application, they do have to be aware of dropouts, and you don't want to have a bad user experience in that case. There are ways of accounting for that as well, but there are, again, increasing levels of sophistication on this kind of a solution.
Gotcha. Zan, did you have any end all be all that you think could end up curing this disease, if you will?
Well, one of the things that's being talked about a lot recently is a replay system. I know that a lot of people are on board with that. And I think that would help in allowing, not necessarily the developers, in players helping police this sort of thing. I mean, basically what the response that we've done so far is use the systems, use the forums, etc. to report people that you suspect of cheating. If we had a replay system that allowed us to at least see how the battle went, what sort of tunes they were using, what sort of stats they're rocking, exactly which ones they're using again, that would help us know. So if somebody goes in there with a Jawa team and wipes your Jedi Knight Revan team, you'd know.
I agree with that.
And
I agree with that. And
I'd love it to be portrayable too. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also think too that, along the lines that we need to think about this as well is that, if someone's got a Phoenix team and they're taking out your Jedi Knight Revan team, or perhaps even your Darth Revan team, well, then that would be great. I'm not sure about a full replay system. I mean, I support Mick Mole's theory on this and the thesis. I do. But having said that, what would probably be easier is if at the very end, it actually just shows you what the teams were that they were using, much like what you see in defense, where the teams are that you've got to put those teams in. You've got the 5 there, all is good, and then you know exactly what they use. And then you can have a look at their mods and see what they've done.
That would be a really simple way to do it.
Actually. However,
what was that, Zan?
Way to do it. That would be a simple way to do it. However, I guess I would just feel a bit greedy, and I would want to see their strategy and get to learn new things that, maybe they take targets out in a different order that I didn't know was a better order. So I guess maybe the full replay system, a bit of greed.
Yeah, but then I start to get greedy because, I then think, if they allow me to see what the person did, then why can't I take a sandbox mode? And it all goes back to the sandbox mode because I want to practice doing that myself,
Well, I don't know about that.
I agree.
Yeah, look, I mean, like, I'm all good for that too. But having said that, I just think that what would be much easier is just, I mean, the same goes for Territory Wars, Grand Arena, and even, well, not so much Squad Arena because we all know what's going up against you. But when it comes to Grand Arena and Territory Wars, absolutely. In that review process phase that we all go through, then that's all we need to see is like, what are the teams that they used against us? That's it. That's all we need, I think.
Yeah. Any last? I'm gonna go to you first, Zan. Any last minute things that you'd like to add in here because we do have to get to our incoming transmission coming up in just a moment.
Just I don't know. The game is great, and I know everybody has problems with it, but as much as it is about, it's also about fostering community that we all share space, and so we need to all taking strides to protect the users who are bringing us the general players, even the little guys starting out, and we need to make sure that we're fostering thrive. And if we could get some of these things implemented, I think we could foster a where people would feel they don't feel the need to cheat.
Excellent. And Dano, your turn.
Yeah, so I'd just like to say that, I love Grand Arena mode. It's just, I think, the best addition to the game. It's really injected new life into the game, just engaging through chat with some of your opponents, etc. And so all of these suggestions that we're talking about just help with the integrity of the mode, and I think help make it better. And at the end of the day, that's all we're asking for. We don't want to see, we don't want to see a favored game mode disappear because of, a few bad actors that just ruin it for the rest of us.
I agree. Scotty, anything else? Anything you want to throw in here before we move along?
Yeah, no, look, I think we've pretty much covered it all, Paul. And guys, look, I think it's definitely problematic. I think that we need to do a fair bit of work, the developers and also the player base. We need to do a fair bit of work to try and stamp this sort of thing out.
And Scotty, it is all going to come down to us. It's going to come down to the player base. We have to band together. We have to make sure that we're focusing on reporting suspected cheaters, and we have to band together to be able to bring together an entire community. We're hurt right now, but you know what? Let's not let this get us down, and let's do this as one team, and that's Galaxy Heroes players. Coming up after the break, we sit down with Mandalore, and we turn down for what? Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
This is Cubs fan Han, and you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
Hey guys, it's the Nev here. If you want to hear more content from me, please come over to my channel. It's Nev. Simple as that. But if you're looking for me and you need to type something in the search, best put in my full name. It's Neil Andrew Eyre. You can also follow me on Twitter at PomPomtastic1, and you can find me on Discord, Nev, #9515. Hope to hear from you soon. Come on over and give me a like and a subscribe.
1, 2, 3.
Llama, what are you doing?
Well, Zed, I'm trying to count all the perks that Scotty and Paul give their Patreon supporters, but I don't think I have enough fingers.
Patreon supporters can get tons of rewards, and plans just start at $2 a month.
7. Wait, what comes after 7?
Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
The Escape Pod Cast. Guild Classifieds.
27 squads, 1 guild. Join the ANZGC today as Galaxy of Heroes premier Asia Pacific community with squads servicing Australia, New Zealand, the United States and Asia. The ANZGC will help find the right fit for your playstyle and roster. Custom bot systems, professional leadership and even nightly trivia. They're just some of the benefits of joining the ANZGC. They've got Territory Wars squads competing against the best in the world, and their GOTB guilds earn between 17 15 to 30 stars. Spots are limited, so you'd better get involved in it today. If you want to be a part of the ANZGC, recruiting officers are all in the major recruitment servers, or contact Heinzie, #8005 on Discord, or head to our server to find out more. God help me, and join the ANZGC.
Hi, I'm Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to the Escape Pod, cast for kids with me, the Nev. Today we're going to talk about non-pillar farming. You see, the pillar system never took into consideration the needs of a player for GAC, and since Warrior's Most Excellent update back in February, there have been additions and updates to the game, including a lot of reworks. What I'm going to do today is talk about what you should farm, if you haven't already got to it, what not to farm, why, and what to potentially prepare for some of the stores. Just a quick note. This is all about farming from the stalls. Light side, dark side, and cantina nodes farm as per the pillars. Actually, scratch that, there are characters you should not be farming in pillars 2, 3, and 4. But that's for another day. The current Clone War theme running through the game has resulted in every separatist that was not already OP getting a rework. The Bugs, Nuke, Count Dooku, General Grievous, IG, all because of the GOTB dark side. Now, it would be very naive to think the same is not going to happen for GOTB light side. The Galactic Republic have already started getting new characters and reworks. We now have Padme and Shakti, and reworks for General Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Jedi Knight Anakin. So when you think about it, there are a lot of Galactic Republic characters that are very likely to get reworks before the release of the GOTB light side. So let's talk about where you can get these Galactic Republic characters and the stores where they are available. Guild Store. Okay, so in the Guild Store, there are a lot of Galactic Republic characters. A lot of them. My advice is to go for the Jedi, as they are likely to be reworked first. Barriss, Kit Fisto, Ayala, and I'm a Gundy. Of course, don't farm these guys until the priorities have been done, but I will be amazed if these guys don't get reworked. For the GW Store, you should be farming Luminari and Dooley, after the priority farms are complete, of course. From Fleet, I would suggest Galactic Republic characters that have ships. So any GR character with a ship, go for those ones. Cantina Store has both Ahsoka and Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, Ahsoka has already had her rework, and she's available in the Fleet Store too. Once you finish farming the Cassian U-Wing, farm these two characters at once. I'll leave out the Guild Event currency store, because other than Hoda and Wampa, you should not be spending currency on characters in this store. This brings me on to the most important store of them all, Squad Arena. Once you've done the farming for pillars 1, 2, and 3, get Mace Windu farmed. Now, he's already part of the pillar system, but he's not a particularly good character at the moment. That's gonna change. He is, without a doubt, the most powerful Jedi Master to not receive a rework. I think CG are deliberately leaving his rework until the end because they know his rework is gonna change the meta. If the devs rework Shatterpoint accurately, of course. Well, that's all, folks. Get those Galactic Republic characters farmed, because like the Separatists, they are gonna be awesome. Don't forget to farm your Geos for the Padme event though, as that's all you need now. Before I go, boys and girls, I just want to talk about the evils of cheating. Don't do it, it's wrong. If you don't want to burn in RNG hell forever, then don't cheat. If someone offers you a hack that promises you everlasting victory, you let the community know. RNGesus will love you for it. That's all for this week, boys and girls. Thanks for joining me for Storytime with the Nev on the Escape Pod, cast for kids.
Hi, this is Cyphermaster SB Crumb, and you're listening to the Escape Pod cast.
Nikias Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Hey everyone, Biscuit Weasel here from the planet Coruscant and the HSTR project. Some of you may have seen my latest videos about my modding and Grand Arena strategy, but I want to help you personally. Head on over to patreon.com/biscuitweasel, that's Weasel with a Z, and check out my new Patreon rewards. And while they last, the first 10 people to sign up at the $10 level will get the whole $30 package for their first month. That's patreon.com/Biscuit Weasel. Remember, that's with a Z. Today.
The Escape Podcast with Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And joining us inside the incoming transmission for today, well, we've got a man that's actually been turning down for what? And he's also managed to get himself past 1,000 subscribers as well on YouTube just recently. And he is probably one of the greatest people going around when it comes to content at present on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I'm talking about Mandalore. He joins us now. Hello, Mandalore. How are you, brother?
You are far too generous, my good sir.
Mate, it's great to talk to you. And first things first, what Tambor? You've managed to get him unlocked. How's he going?
A lot of testing. He's a lot of fun. He needs to be a little bit less soft, and he'll be right.
He'll be right. Okay. So who have you found the combinations that he's working really well with? Is he going really well with the Separatist tags, or is he going pretty good with other teams?
He is probably my new favorite plug-and-play tune. He can slot in a lot of different comps.
Right, okay. So he's the new Grand Admiral Thrawn, you'd say?
I'd liken him more to the new Hermit Yoda, but yes, similar insofar as he can go on just about any team. It's amazing.
Nice. And how have you found his abilities, man?
You definitely, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but I think I got it down now. I generally am going to throw up the taunt tech first, just so I get a pre-taunt, because it's like a Han shoots first thing. You get a pre-taunt going if you do that, and then I'll do the weapon tech. So I always do tank tech, weapon tech.
Yeah, right. A lot of people actually felt that what Tambor would have worked extremely well inside of that Separatist team, especially with Newt Gunray. Have you had any testing with him, and how's he gone with Newt Gunray?
I tested him on a bunch of different teams. I got a few videos out. Yeah. I don't like him on a GG team with both him and Newt. I mean, that would be a lot of fun, but then you have to give up either Magna Guard, the tank, or B2, the Dispeller, or B1, the healer. So I'm a little bit torn about that one still.
Right, okay. With Dooku, have you done any testing with him?
Yeah, I messed around a little bit with Dooku. I really like Dooku and Watt together because if you have a fast Dooku, you can get the stealth up on Watt, and it's a little bit easier for him to stay alive, at least a little bit longer. So yeah, I definitely like that pairing. I just am not totally set or sold on the rest of the team makeup.
What you found, though, is that under a Jedi Knight Revan team with Hermit Yoda, he's just an absolute tank and can take down a Darth Revan too, can't he?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, he definitely slots in there. Having basically 2 Hermit Yodas on the team is actually really nice. And then I actually throw the weapon tech up on Jedi Knight Revan, and he actually turns into the main damage dealer, which is strange, but it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not under Grandmaster Yoda. He doesn't really turn into the huge damage dealer as well. You haven't tried that with GMY, taking Bastilla out perhaps, or?
I have tried a little bit, but I've been also trying to put Grandmaster Yoda with my Galactic Republic team because he makes that team just stupid.
Yeah.
So I've been bouncing back and forth between them.
Yeah, right, okay. Mandalore, one of the things I'm really loving, man, is the fact that, like a lot of what you're doing is a lot of good theory crafting, and what you've done recently is you've actually done a Finn and Visas lineup as well, where they've managed to go up against the solo Malik and win. That is insane.
That, full disclosure, was completely by accident.
How'd you come across that? With Rose Tico in there? She's become viable in a way.
Oh, man. So I stumbled onto that comp when I was facing my guild leader in Grand Arena way back in the day, and we just had the messiest, sloppiest slugfest of a GA. I don't think either of us killed a team on the first go, and I found myself stuck with this solo Malik of his, and I think I burned through 3 teams, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to try Finn. You know what? I'm going to try Visas for that cleanse and the assist. And it worked.
I think that's a brilliant composition, man. That is sensational. Have you tried it anymore? And, has it worked again? Or was that just a one-off?
No, I actually used it several more times in TW to clean up. Same thing. Other people had left solo Maliks. It doesn't work if the Malik's tenacity is super, super high, which a lot of people are modding their Maliks for a lot of tenacity.
Yep.
The workaround that might be to throw a tune on there that puts tenacity down.
Yeah.
Which if you can get tenacity down, then the stuns will work and it effectively will work the same. But I have not gone that far to try that.
Right, okay. Now, look, something else that I wanted to talk to you about is, you've been doing a bit of work with ships as well lately, and you've actually found a way to counter the Millennium Falcon Biggs lineup, which is currently the meta in the ships arena, and you've done it without any rebels, man. Like, how long did this take you to figure out with the TIE Slicer, as Cubs fan Han likes to call it, the Houndstooth, and other ships as well?
So those actually I had for quite some time, and they were unlisted videos, and I released them relatively recently because, everyone can beat everyone pretty much in Fleet Arena because everyone's got what is basically the meta. So I just wanted to put them out there for public consumption so people could see, different ways to do it. It's not going to work the same if you're facing like a full Rebel team, because I think I have Houndstooth in there on defense for all of them, so that obviously changes the landscape of it. But I just wanted to put them out there because, Fleet Arena is getting boring and the meta is going to shift, I think, whenever Negotiator starts coming out, so I figured it was just time to let them loose.
I've actually had a feeling that it's going to be the Malevolence which is going to change things up. What are your thoughts on this? I honestly thought that the Negotiator probably isn't going to be the next meta ship. I actually think it's going to be the Malevolence. What's your take?
So I think that the Negotiator is going to be the meta for whatever short period of time it is out there, and Malevolence is yet to be released. I feel like Malevolence is still a little ways away. I could be totally wrong, but that's my feeling.
Yeah. Now, one of the big things too I wanted to talk to you about, Mandalore, is the fact, man, you've got over 1,450 subscribers. You're getting close to the 1,500 mark. You've managed to get a nice little message from YouTube as well, saying congratulations on that, man. On behalf of the Escape podcast as well, man, I've got to say congratulations to you. How'd you celebrate that milestone, brother?
I made a small video, a short video with my fiance, but then my fiance is really funny and she almost flashed me on that video. So I put it out there thinking, oh, this will be funny for the chaps and whoever to watch, but then it got into the wrong hands, so I'm like, you know what, let me just take that one down.
Well, look, I've got to say, man, you are definitely bringing it when it comes to content, man. You're definitely the man I turn to quite a bit, and that's no lie, man. I love watching your videos. I love watching your content. Like, it's, if you guys were a fan of Skeltrix, well, this Mandalore is on par with Skeltrix, and, I think, man, you are certainly bringing it, brother. So congratulations, man.
Well, that is certainly high praise, because Skeltrix is awesome. So I don't know if I'm quite on Skeltrix's level, but I appreciate you saying it all the same.
Oh, man, I think you are. And 1,450 subscribers probably agree.
Yeah, but what they're not telling you is all the little kickbacks that I'm giving them all.
Fantastic. Well, look, guys, make sure you head on over and check out the Mandalore's channel. And also, while you're there as well, go and have a look at all of the testing that he's doing with Wat Tambor at the moment. The only content creator who's out there at present with Wat Tambor, and I'm absolutely loving all the content you are bringing as well, and especially with the Xhantos Darkside Territory battle too, man. Like, you've helped me out to no end. You and Mick Mole have certainly been helping me out quite a bit with that sort of stuff, man, so thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers. Mick Mole actually helped me out a couple.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He, I think it was his Newt lead, otherwise GG Droids team that made a tremendous difference for me in
Yeah, nice one. Well, man, I love the fact that we all work together as one big team, and it's awesome, man, to be a content creator alongside of you, Mandalore. And mate, I'm honoured to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Escape podcast.
Cheers. Thanks so much for having me again.
Man, you are more than welcome. Stick around. We're going to get into the bridge in just a moment.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and you are listening to the Escape Pod.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Podcast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Hey guys, it's the Nev here. If you want to hear more content from me, please come over to my channel. It's Nev, simple as that. But if you're looking for me and you need to type something in the search, best put in my full name. It's Neil Andrew Eyre. You can also follow me on Twitter at PomPomtastic1, and you can find me on Discord, Nev, #9515. Hope to hear from you soon. Come on over and give me a like and a subscribe.
1, 2, 3.
Mama, what are you doing?
Well, Zed, I'm trying to count all the perks that Scotty and Paul give their Patreon supporters, but I don't think I have enough fingers.
Patreon supporters can get tons of rewards, and plans just start at $2 a month.
7. Wait, what comes after 7?
Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
This is your favorite YouTuber's favorite Greek American Swuggo YouTuber from the greater New York City area, whose name has 8 letters, beginning with an H and ending with an X. Wanna guess who, TC14? Come on, guess.
Horse box.
Try again.
Polio box.
Seriously?
Harley specs.
You know what? Just forget it. I was trying to get you to say Hellenics, you dumb droid. Anyway, welcome back to the Escape Pod cast with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Take it away, boys. I have a droid to disassemble.
Oh, dear.
The Escape Pod cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to this edition of the Escape Pod. And yes, we are in the bridge, which means if you guys have any questions, and you're in our listener lounge live with us right now, go ahead and throw them up on our listener lounge chat room, and we will get to those as we can.
Absolutely, Paul.
Welcome back, Scotty.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I can tell you. Do you guys want a weather report from Australia today? Do you want one? I'll happily give you one. Here's our weather report for Tamworth today. Partly cloudy with possible raised areas of dust this afternoon. Extremely windy outside. Tops of 12 degrees here in Australia, with areas of possible snowfall above 1,500 metres for tomorrow morning. An overnight low of -4. Lovely. How about that?
So you're getting snow.
Yep.
No, I'm going to translate this for the Americans. He's getting dusty snow.
Yes, but no, possible areas of raised dust. That just tells you about what we're in. We're actually in the, well, I guess you could say in probably the biggest drought of all time, and going on over here in Australia. And they're actually shipping water into places too, guys. So it's pretty full on over here in Australia.
But raised dust.
Yeah.
And snow.
Yes.
Dusty snow.
Dusty snow, exactly. So we're going to get a dusting tonight, Paul. Love it. Also, I want to say a big shout out to Xylo. Look, we love this guy. He is one of our favorite content creators going around. He is someone that it means a lot to us. Xylo. He's very close to it. We love the Padawan that he's got, the young Padawan. So look, make sure that you go over and say g'day to Xylo. Give him a like. Give him a shout out. Yeah, that's right. And absolutely sensational. We love Xylo Takedown. So please, guys, share your love and show Xylo some love today, because he certainly needs a little bit of love. And mate, I look forward to having you on the chat, on the show in a couple of weeks' time, brother. I can't wait to speak to you, man. Absolutely fantastic. All right, so Paul, we need to send in a shout out.
I'm going to jump in.
Go for it.
Yeah, to E-Grace Gamer, because we got to definitely shout out E-Grace Gamer. He welcomed a little Padawan into the world. He's got a great story. If any of you listeners ever want to hear a great story of somebody who is one hell of a human being, ask E-Grace about, life. He's a great storyteller. So welcome to his newest, littlest one. Unfortunately, I forgot the name. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, E-Grace, but hopefully you'll forgive me for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of little Padawans out there at the moment. Well done, E-Grace Gamer. Congratulations, mate. Hope Mum is resting well as well, and hopefully Elliot Graham. There you go. Happy birthday to Elliot, mate. It's good to see him as a part of the Padawans, I guess you could say, which is fantastic. And look, mate, seeing as his name's Elliot, I just thought that I'd say Elliot. He can keep that for E.T. So that's always good.
I'll tell you this, Scotty. Elliot's actually, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying, Elliot is an homage to another name. Ask him for the story sometime. It's awesome.
Right, okay. All right. Well, we just got a question in from Shifty19D. He says, do you think that the Thrawn books will be made into movies? Well, Shifty, I kind of hope so, but to be honest, I know what... I've got a feeling we all know what's coming in 2022, and that's going to be Knights of the Old Republic. Got a feeling that's going to be the movies that are going to be coming. Paul?
They just said Old Republic. Now, with that being said, the first Thrawn book was made into a comic book. It was made into a graphic novel.
Yeah.
And I strongly advise checking that out if you're not into actually reading. Find Thrawn's origin in the Del Rey timeline by checking out that graphic novel. There was also a question posed by Sir Boss 37, our guy who goes after the big names. He asked, bone in or bone out? And the correct answer for wings is always bone in. Bone out is just chicken nuggets.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, also, guys, I wanted to send in, speaking of Sir Boss, I wanted to send in a shout out, if we could, to our Patreons, Paul. We got to shout them out, man. Go for it. Let's go through the list. Who are the big people?
Doing it again?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, we're doing it again. Yes. We did it last week. We'll do it again.
Let's do it again. We got to do this all the time. A shout out to the Patreons.
I gotta log in.
Oh,
I
really?
gotta log in. Hang on.
Okay.
I don't sit here and watch the Patreons. I'm not going to be that creepy Patreon, person. But most importantly, happy birthday, Tenpool.
Oh yes. Shout out to my boy Tenpool. We almost got through the entire show without wishing him a happy birthday.
Yeah. We got Adam, we got Danku, we got Sobi, we got Charlie, we got Dano, we got Dan, we got Daniel, we got David, we got another David, we got David B and David M. We've got Derek E. Grace, we've got Gavin, we've got Heinze.
Yes.
The man. As of last week, Ian Crone. Hello, Ian Crone.
Ian. It's just Ian.
Yes. We've got Mohican, we've got John O. Caden, we've got Kurt Deadpool, Kyle, we've got Michael A. Newbie Gaming, Ali, the Llama, the Zed,
yes,
Savage Diva, Uber,
Uber,
and most of all, the one, the only, the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, your boy, Urzatron.
Oh, yeah, we love the Urz. Everyone loves the Urz. And, big shout-outs to all of you guys. And, look, without you guys, this show definitely wouldn't happen. And I can tell you, that's not just with our Patreons, but also all of our listeners. We love each and every one of you. And thank you guys for being such a big part of the show. And, look, Paul, before we...
This is the most people I've seen currently listening to us live. I mean, I am amazed, and I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart for you guys tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I could not agree with you more on that. And look, Paul, I also wanted to send in a huge shout-out, actually, if I could, to Helenix, man. We love Helenix. He's a good guy, and he's definitely someone that, you guys should go over and check out because, he's someone that is very, very dear to our heart, otherwise known as the Greek on here. And we love you, mate. Well, I think you're a great guy, so thank you very much, brother. Thanks for being a part of our show, man. We absolutely love it. So thank you, bro.
No matter with what happens with Scotty and I, the Greek, Hellenics, United Without Limits, you guys have supported us thank you for all that.
Yeah.
And all this time. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Could not agree with you there, man. More on that. That is sensational. All right. Well, look up, Paul. I think it might be time, man, that we get out of here, brother. I'm getting a little bit claustrophobic in this escape pod, man. I think it's time to leave.
It's a different escape pod for you. Hopefully you can find the button, but if you do, Scotty, push the button if you find it.
Well, where is the button, Paul? Have you hit it on me again?
No, Scotty, I see it. Scotty, just to your right.
Oh, there it is. Here it is.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? It's gotta be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.